There's no substitute for moment by moment walking with God. As 2021 has started to unfold, I've really been learning a lot about what it means to take accountability for the things in our lives. And I wanted to make a quick video about that. As I've talked to different people, I was just at Moody Bible Institute dropping some friends off. And as I was talking to some friends about just life and things, I realized how many people struggle with just addictions, sin, sexual addiction, drug addiction, smoking, these kinds of things, porn addiction, these kinds of things. And I have realized that there is no substitute for moment by moment walking with God. And that is where real freedom is found. And I wanted to say that for everyone out there, we all deal with different things in life. Whether we call it addiction or sin, whatever it is, it has the same cure. It may look different, that walk looks different, but I've realized in my own life that the cure looks like taking responsibility for our actions before God and then asking Him for help. And I'm mainly talking to Christians at this point. I've seen the most victory in my own sin areas, in overcoming them in my life, when I have taken responsibility for them, when I have acknowledged them before God, and when I've made the moment-by-moment choice to follow what God has told me is right. And that looks different. For example, for sexual addiction or pornography or something like that, flee youthful lusts. I think of that for people who struggle with drug addiction or things like this. Again, I would say flee. But that's what I wanted to just encourage whoever's going to watch this with, is just, there's no substitute. There's no, we put up fences and walls, and accountability software or partners and accountability partners, these kinds of things, especially people dealing with quote unquote addictive sins, things like that. But I realized that while those things are necessary and are wise, when it comes down to it, I realized that the moment by moment communication and walk with God is what brings freedom, that closeness and intimacy with God. And I realized that sin doesn't, when I sin, it doesn't change my standing before God. I'm righteous, but it does break intimacy with God. And in 1 John it says, if we confess our sin, He is faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us of all unrighteousness. And I realize that's not talking about going to heaven or hell. That's about, John is writing to Christians sanctified by faith alone, or justified, I should say, by faith alone. But in their sanctification, the thing that comes after justification, when I sin, I feel that distance from God. But I realize when I confess, which just means to acknowledge, confess, it's like with saying, it's agreeing with, saying the same thing as. God says this is wrong, I say you're right, I'm sorry. And I'd say repentance in sanctification is when I change my mind about something. Like, this is wrong, you're right. It's not even emotional, it's just, you are right, God, this is wrong. And so turning back to Him along with that. And so I've just been thinking about these things, especially in lieu of some of my other videos that I've released, how important it is to understand that there's nothing that can change my standing with God, because I nothing got me in the door, nothing can kick me out the door. And I'm referring to salvation. Jesus did it all. I trust that. But to experience that moment by moment fellowship with God, that's what the Christian life is all about. So God bless you out there. I hope this encouraged someone. And hopefully some more videos will be coming soon, more podcasts and things. And if there's any way I can improve things, I'm still figuring this out. Let me know. Leave a comment below. Thank you, and God bless.